Well, good morning, White County. This is David Murphy, Director of Public Safety for White County, and we're here in our Emergency Operations Center. We are fully activated as of 7 a.m. this morning. If you haven't looked outside yet, it is snowing here in White County. We've already had some reports of snow across the county, and rapid accumulation is what we expected, and that's what we're seeing. I would encourage everyone to stay at home, be safe. Travel conditions will deteriorate rapidly. And Mr. Strength, our division chief of emergency management, is going to come on board here and give you the latest forecast. But I encourage you to please stay at home. Do not call 911 unless you have an emergency. If you have any other assistance needs, call 706-865-9800. That's our emergency operations center. If your power goes out later on today or really anytime, contact your electric provider, whether Georgia Power or Habersham EMC. We do not have any special numbers or emergency numbers to get you any help any quicker. So just rely on calling them. Make sure everything is charged up, as Don will give you some information later. We expect our ice accumulations to be maybe a little more this evening than we anticipated. So make sure all your batteries are charged up. You have everything you need. It's time to just sit back and watch the beautiful snow outside. Be safe, stay off the roads. And Don, I'm going to turn it over to you. Thank you, White County.
All right. Thank you, Director Murphy. Appreciate your hard work in helping all of us be prepared and the leadership that you give us here at White County Public Safety as we prepare for these types of events across our area. And I'm just looking at several different things at the same time. Before we look at the radar, we've just received a special weather statement from the National Weather Service out of Peachtree City at 7:39 a.m. A band of sleet transitioning to moderate and heavy snow was located over the southern Atlanta metro and points east, and that area is moving to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. So that will eventually move up into northeast Georgia. Snow started probably about 20 or 30 minutes ago at our public safety campus here at the Monty building off Helen Highway. But we're now receiving this special weather statement from the National Weather Service that band of heavy snow. And if you've been watching television this morning, you know that Atlanta is covered with snow down there. That heavy band of snow set up right there along the I-20 corridor, which is exactly what the models was telling us was going to happen. Now that's pushing to the northeast, and that will eventually arrive here in White County. So heavier snow rates than what we have out there right now are certainly on the way for White County. And as Director Murphy was saying, the best idea is to simply stay off of the roads. We'll take a live shot from one of our battalion chiefs who's actually out there on the roadway this morning. Excuse me. And you can see that the snow is already beginning to accumulate out there. And you can see it on the side of the roads, and that eventually will actually, there's some snow accumulation already on the roadways. That particular road is already completely covered in snow. But you'll notice that's happening in the areas there that's protected by the trees. So that part of the pavement is cooler than other parts of the pavement. So that's what we're going to look like on our secondary roads. Now, as this heavier band of snow moves into White County, probably in the next hour or so, we'll be completely covered on the secondary roads. The state routes, Helen Highway, 129, 356, 365, 255, 254, those kinds of roads are probably going to stay in pretty good shape this morning because they have been brined. The Georgia Department of Transportation has been working on those roads for quite some time. And there's a good example of what I'm talking about. This is out there at Appalachian Parkway and Highway 129. And you can see there's no snow on that highway. But on those secondary roads, like where Josh is driving, you can see the difference in those two highways because one has been treated, the other has not been treated. That's what we're going to be looking at. But those secondary roads are going to deteriorate quick, and travel will become very dangerous. And we're advising you not to get out there and do that. All right, Bryce, let's take the radar shot, and let me show you what the radar looks like at this hour. Let's take it full screen because it's kind of hard to see in that small window, and then we'll come back out and show some more live cameras in just a few moments. Everywhere now is it's all either sleet or snow really across Alabama, central Alabama, Georgia, and middle Georgia. I mean, pretty amazing stuff going on off to our west, even down into East Alabama and West Georgia. They had a very heavy band of snow move through there a couple of hours ago, and they've already got 2 inches of snow in places like Wedowee, Alabama. That's just over the Georgia state line there in East Alabama. And that's what's moving in our general direction. And they picked up that 2 inches of snow in less than an hour. So some pretty incredible snowfall rates occurring there in East Alabama, West Georgia, now over into the Atlanta area. And all of that is moving in our general direction up here in White County. What you see outside right now is just a prelude to what is to come. I'm going to zoom out a little bit further and kind of give you a look at the overall storm. And you can see this is a massive storm system. It's stretching from really Milwaukee, Wisconsin, all the way down to the Gulf Coast and out into the Gulf of Mexico. Our low pressure is sitting out there south of New Orleans this morning, and it's moving off to the east, northeast very slowly. This is going to be a long duration event. It's going to last up here in White County. We're going to be in the snow pretty much all day long. And the thing that's got us a little bit concerned, and this is subject to change because we're in that period of time now where we simply look out the window and see what's happening. But there is a decent chance that sometime after about 3, 4, 5 o'clock this afternoon, we change over to freezing rain. Well, if we've got 2, 3 inches of snow on the ground, and then we put freezing rain on top of it, and the latest high resolution models are suggesting that we could be looking at a 1/4 inch or more of ice on top of the snowpack, and those winds kick up 20 to 30 miles per hour. Now we've got a dangerous situation as far as icing is concerned. The snow load and the ice load combined with the wind, if that happens, would most certainly bring down some trees and power lines across White County. So we've been telling you for a couple of days to be prepared for power outages. We don't or haven't thought up until this point that we would be looking at widespread power outages. But if we get a 1/4 inch of ice, or maybe up to just south of a 1/2 inch of ice, and that's what one of the models is telling us, then that changes the ball game, and we may have to deal with some power outages later on today and into tonight across White County. So that's kind of where we are on the weather at the moment. Let's go back to our live camera out there with Josh, and then we'll just kind of do a round robin and take a look at all of the different cameras that are available out there. Yeah, look at that. I mean, we're already looking at snow-covered roads. I'm not sure. Maybe that's Chambers Road. I'm not sure exactly where he's at, but I know he was in that area just a few moments ago. But you can see what's happening. Even the secondary roads already beginning to get snow covered, and the heavy snow is not even here yet. That will be in the next hour or so when it arrives. So let's take a look. Let's ride up to Helen with our cameras and take a look and see what's happening up there. Looks like and rightfully so, we've received more snow on the south end of the county because that's the direction it's coming from. Even though you can see the snow is already accumulating on the rooftops there in Helen. And if you'll look off into the distance, you can see the mountains, the beginning to see snow in the background there. Beautiful shot of downtown Helen in the snow. And as pretty as it is right now, it will be even more so as the snow begins to pile up there in downtown Helen. Again, back to our live camera that's out there this morning. You can see that the roads are just becoming completely covered. Secondary roads are becoming completely covered with snow. So we'll call it from this point forward. Don't get out there on the roadways. There's a shot of the parking lot, the backside of the public safety building here just off of Helen Highway, just north of Cleveland. And you can see there that we're beginning to get accumulation in the parking lot area and in the grassy areas around the building as well. It's also accumulating on that's one of the dispatcher's vehicles out there in the parking lot, and you can see snow piling up there also. Let's see. Now, talking about dispatchers, I think we've got a shot of the inside of the 911 center this morning. We are fully staffed in the 911 center, running all of our positions this morning as we prepare to respond and recover from whatever this winter storm brings to us. Folks, there's about 5 or 6 heroes in that room right there. These guys and gals have a tough job, and they work tirelessly. We actually brought them to work an hour early today, and they're going to stay to their normal quitting time if they get to go home today. So they're working at least 13 hours today. So if you see one of our communications officers out in the public, tell them what a fine job they're doing and show your appreciation, because they deal with a lot of bad stuff, but they're here for you. They are the true first responder. They're the first person you talk to when you're in need. So be sure and thank those guys and gals. Not a whole lot going on right now. Call volume hadn't picked up. Of course, this winter storm is just now getting underway across northeast Georgia. We told you we thought it would be sometime after sunrise. And that's where we are. Snow started falling at about 8 o'clock this morning. So just about maybe 20 or 30 minutes later than we thought. But yeah, there's Freedom Park. You can see that the ground is beginning to turn white out there at Freedom Park as well. And just noticing some of the comments there in the chat room. And yes, ice will bring down trees and power lines. Very dangerous to drive on, even if you have chains. So it's not advised to be out there driving starting now throughout the duration of this event. Conditions are only going to go downhill from here. Remember, we're under a winter storm warning until tomorrow morning. Whatever falls today and whatever moisture we end up with before the moisture ends tonight is going to be with us all night long. So I would not expect travel conditions to improve at all tonight. Maybe tomorrow afternoon we get above freezing and we start to lose some of the snowpack and some of the ice. But any residual moisture tomorrow evening is going to refreeze and carry on into Sunday morning. So this is going to be a long duration event, and we are here, we're staffed, we're ready to go, and we're ready to respond to your needs. And we will continue with these updates as we go throughout this winter storm. And we'll be back with you probably in a couple of hours with another live broadcast from White County Public Safety. We encourage you to go over to and sign up for the White County Code Red Alerts by texting White Co Alerts to 99411. That's White Co Alerts to 99411. Also, be sure that you follow us on Facebook and on YouTube, and share us with all of your friends. Ask them to share with their friends because we're going to bring you the information right here on White County Public Safety. So again, thanks to Director Murphy, and Bryce Barrett is in the background. You don't get to see Bryce very much, but he produces all this for us. And Battalion Chief Josh Taylor out there on that roving. He's the roving reporter for us this morning, giving us those beautiful live shots of the snow-covered roads across White County. We'll be back in about an hour or two depending on the situation, and update you again here on White County Public Safety. Y'all be careful out there.
Radio. Hey, yes, what? Good day, 41. 825.